Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought provoking conversations. Now, the biggest news which is being discussed on the social media is that more than 700 civil society activists, former bureaucrats, and academics have written to the Election Commission alleging violation of the Model Code of Conduct by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the national address he delivered on women's reservation on April 18th. Now, this letter has been addressed to the Election Commission dated April 20th. The activists demanded an inquiry into Prime Minister Modi's address to the nation 2 days ago, claiming that it was a clear and blatant violation of the Model Code of Conduct. Now, I'd like to show you a tweet which has been put out by Mr. Jairam Ramesh. And this tweet also says a lot about how brazen this violation of the Model Code of Conduct is. Now, Jairam Ramesh has written that my senior colleague in the Lok Sabha, KC Venugopal, has issued a notice of question of privilege against the Prime Minister for his so-called address to the nation following the defeat of the nefarious designs in the Lok Sabha by something he did not expect: absolute opposition, unity, and solidarity. A sitting PM's address to the nation has always been reserved for the overriding purpose of national unity and confidence building. Prime Minister's unabashed partisan demagoguery during the address, with 59 different attacks on the Congress party, will be yet another permanent stain on the record as Prime Minister. And this is the letter which has been sent. So it's been seen as a clear violation of the Model Code of Conduct. The CEC, Mr. Gyanesh Kumar, who happens to be the Chief Election Commissioner, he doesn't want to mention it even once that Prime Minister has violated the Model Code of Conduct. But what we see in turn is a totally different picture. Now, yesterday, all over the media, the stories were rife that some 40 IS officers had been transferred in Uttar Pradesh, and amongst them was one Mr. Manish Bansal, who is Mr. Ganesh Kumar's son-in-law, who happens to be the husband of Noida DM Medha Rupam, who is Ganesh Kumar's daughter. Now, Manish Bansal's appointment as DM to Agra also has stirred a hornet's nest. And of course, the questions will be asked that if the CEC is not having the courage to cite the violation of the Model Code of Conduct by someone like a Prime Minister, so obviously there is something which is cooking up. So we will try and see and juxtapose the two stories and analyze it for the viewers. Joining me this evening is renowned academician and the election data scientist of the country, Dr. Pyare Lal Garg joins us. So thank you so much for joining. And let me begin with this violation of the Model Code of Conduct, which has been clearly seen by the opposition parties. The entire country saw how 29 minutes of Prime Minister's speech was used only to lambast Congress, to lambast other political parties, the opposition parties like Samajwadi Party, Trinamool Congress, and these are all parties which are in the poll fray. So what would you say to it? And Ganesh Kumar has, according to Ganesh Kumar, this is no clear violation of the Model Code of Conduct. Do you think any action can be taken despite 700 citizens who've written a letter to Mr. Ganesh Kumar?
Niluji, first of all, I must congratulate you that you have taken up this issue. The day I heard that, I heard the word for word from Modi ji. Rather, it was difficult for me to sit there because he was time and again repeating four parties' names. The Trinamool Congress, the DMK, Samajwadi Party, and Congress, and maybe 100 times he named the Congress. So that is not the, I would say, the cup of tea of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister address to the nation. The Prime Minister should not, could not have address to the nation. Leave aside what does Ganesh Kumar do? What type of violation it is? It is a violation of the office of the Prime Minister itself. Because there are certain things which are reserved for certain occasions. The Prime Minister's address to the nation is not address of Mr. Modi. I am using Mr. because that is not the Prime Minister way I am talking. Mr. Modi's address to his constituency of BJP, it is not the address. The address of the Prime Minister to the nation means each and every person in the country, which we call nation, will be listening to it. It will be on a very, very extremely important issue where we have to stand, the whole nation, or religions, or castes, or political parties, or genders, or geographical areas, or all economies, or professions have to stand behind the Prime Minister to save the country in a certain particular situation. There is no situation like that at all. Rather, the opposition was intelligent enough and united enough to unmaneuver, I would say, the unpious, the sinister design of Mr. Modi, which tried to cover up the delimitation exercise under the veil of reservation for women. These two have nothing to common in each other. Women's reservation has been done in our Punjab in panchayats, but we have not increased the number of sarpanchas or panchas or anything, or number of panchayats. There's no need. So you can always say 33% reservation shall be to the woman. You can say even the governor shall be the woman, 33%. CMs will be the woman. You can do. It can be done, but there was no need. It was being done only to do the delimitation exercise to give an edge, a
But
huge edge.
suppose,
You see, not.
now I want to
I'm
ask
coming,
you that.
I'm coming only one line. So this was this. This was very bad. I'm happy that within the parliament and outside the parliament, the, I would say, the intellectuals, the social activists, those who want the democracy to survive, have come forward in large number, in hundreds, to write down to Mr. Ganesh Kumar, though he will not do anything. I have no hesitation in saying he's almost a puppet in the hands of the powers that be. But it is a courage, it is the saving of the democracy that 700 people, the civil servants, the intelligentsia, and all that have written to Ganesh Kumar. This is that we don't keep it, take it lying down. Even the political party, the major opposition political party, they have started a struggle with inside the parliament. That is why
Dr.
they
Garg,
are writing that it is a violation, gross violation of the moral code of conduct. Hanji,
what I
बोलिए.
want to ask you, and this is a disturbing question, we've not, this is not for the first time that Prime Minister Modi has violated the Model Code of Conduct. It seems that the Model Code of Conduct is something which is very trivial. It at least
Hmm.
appears on the face value like that. In
Yes.
2024, also, we saw a lot of violations being done
Yes.
by Prime Minister Modi and Mr. Amit Shah.
Yeah.
Election Commission
Yeah.
did not take into cognizance. And likewise,
Yeah.
in many assembly elections, also, similar violations have happened, maybe not through an address to the nation, but otherwise also the violation of Model Code of Conduct done by Prime Minister Modi and Amit Shah has been taken very, very lightly by the Election Commission. It almost looks as if it is a non-issue for the Election Commission. Now, if a person like Prime Minister or the Home Minister is involved in a violation of the Model Code of Conduct, how does one deal with an issue like this? Because he happens to be in the highest office, nobody will have the courage to speak against him, and Election Commission is silent, it's mum. So how do we take this issue forward, no matter how many activists, how many lawyers, how many former bureaucrats write letters like these, it will go unheard.
No, ma'am. I beg to differ with you. You are doing it. Do you know what can be the result for you or for me, for those 700 bureaucrats, or for others who will be doing this? This is the saving of the democracy. We won by giving our heads, our properties, giving our lives, prime of life in Andaman Nicobar. So it may not be that effective. This one. So people are doing, whether the powers that we may not listen to it, but a day will come. We have seen the sometimes when this house starts falling, na, it falls like a I will say cardboard. So house of cards. Second, I will say the the violations were there, blatant violations, whether it is कपड़ों से पहचाने जाते हैं, संदूर के नाम से वोट देंगे, आप राष्ट्र के नाम से वोट देंगे, आप ऐसा वोट देंगे, एवरीथिंग इज देयर, आपका संदूर उतार लेंगे, आपकी मंगलसूत्र उतार लेंगे, दीज आर नॉट दी, आपकी गाय भैंस बेच देंगे, तो खुल के ले जाएंगे, these are not the words which a prime minister should use. But the prime minister, because he has not done anything for the independence, because he was not born then. He can say, I was not born. But after that, he is of such a high age, now 65, 67. So he could have done something for the country. I have not seen Mr. Modi doing anything for the country except a carnage when he was a chief minister of the state of Gujarat in 2002. And when he was reminded by his own party prime minister, Shri Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, a great politician, a great statesman, I will say, a great orator, a great poet, a great patriot, that Raj Dharma Nibhana Jaruri hai. Lekin he didn't do it. Okay? He may not do it. So many things are there, but that does not mean that we should keep quiet. This is one. This is very bad. Ganesh Kumar will not do anything. Ganesh Kumar ka, जो उसके दामाद को, the son-in-law of Ganesh Kumar has been posted in Agra. Do you believe? He was in Saharanpur. The
No, but I
population is only.
also want to talk about. We'll come to Ganesh Kumar's son-in-law's appointment a little later, but I still want to talk about the platforms which showed a Prime Minister's speech. Now, say for example, Sansad TV, they aired Prime Minister's speech. It was All India Radio which aired Prime Minister's speech. It was Doordarshan which aired Prime Minister's speech. Now, the officials who are handling these public broadcasting platforms, are they also not in the dock? At least the officers, the senior officers, and the bureaucrats who manage organizations like Doordarshan, Sansad TV, All India Radio, even they did not have anything to say. They didn't utter a word that this looks like a violation and we should not do it.
I would say that they might be feeling bad, but they are tied with the prime minister and the home minister. They are so much scared. They are so much afraid. They don't want to leave their lucrative post. Everybody cannot be. Now, there's no, I will say, freedom struggle is not going on. India needs a second freedom struggle. Second freedom from bigotry, religious bigotry, hatred, disunity, sell out to the other countries, siding with the aggressor. We have to find a freedom from that. From illiteracy, we are still illiterate. From poverty, we are still poor. From hunger, so we have to start a second freedom movement. So the All India Radio, Doordarshan, Sansad TV, they do whatever as Bhisham Pitama did it. Bhisham Pitama the action was the similar. Like these people are not more of Bhisham Pitama. They are much less than that. So these people, still I hope somebody may come out someday who will say, okay, I may have to resign, but I will not telecast
But
it.
I
The
want to,
direction.
Dr. Garg, now this is an extreme step which the opposition also has to take out of dire distress. I would just like to read the subject of KC Venugopal, who's the chairperson of the Public Accounts Committee,
Yeah.
and the letter is dated 21st of April, and we'll try and put out that letter. I'm just reading few portions. The subject is Notice of Question of Privilege against the Prime Minister of India for casting aspersions on members of parliament during his speech telecast on national television on 18th April 2026. Now, he's written a letter to the speaker. I hereby give a notice of question of privilege under provisions of Rule 222 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in Lok Sabha against the Prime Minister of India for having cast aspersions on members of Lok Sabha during his address speech telecast on 18th of April 2026. On 18th April 2026, Prime Minister of India addressed the nation on the national television following the defeat of the Constitution 131st Amendment Bill 2026 in the Lok Sabha on April 17th, 2026, which failed to secure the required two-thirds majority as required under the provisions of Article 368 of the Constitution. In the 29-minute speech termed as Address to the Nation, Prime Minister criticized opposition parties for blocking the bill and make direct reflections on the voting pattern of members of opposition and attributed motives to them. At the very outset, the Prime Minister of the country addresses the nation on a critical matter of national concern, which brooks no delay. Such addresses by the Prime Minister are therefore few and far between. Addressing the nation by the Prime Minister on government not able to muster a requisite majority in Parliament for criticizing the opposition parties is unprecedented, which is unethical and blatant abuse of power. I'm deliberately reading out the entire letter so that the audience can relate to what I'm saying. Such statements by the highest executive functionary of the country constitute a serious breach of privilege and the contempt of the House. On 16th and 17th April, members from the opposition parties, each and every member had categorically stated that they unanimously supported the reservation for women in Lok Sabha. In this regard, the Constitution 106th Amendment Act 2023 was unanimously adopted by both houses of Parliament way back in September 2023. As a matter of fact, the opposition specifically demanded that the reservation of women in Lok Sabha be urgently implemented, fast tracking all the requirements as enunciated in Constitution and other statutory provisions. Insofar as Constitution 131st Amendment Bill 2026, in the guise of implementing women's reservations in Lok Sabha and legislative assemblies, surreptitiously sought to amend Article 82 of the Constitution, inasmuch as by doing away with constitutional protection guardrail vis-a-vis delimitation and leave it to the whims and fancies and mala intents of the ruling party. This is what the opposition members in Lok Sabha were protesting. Now, and then later on, he says in the last paragraph, I'm just reading out the last paragraph. As a matter of fact, the pernicious Constitution 131st Amendment Bill 2026, which sought to strike at the very roots of the basic structure of the Constitution of India, fell, and rightly so. It is appalling that the Prime Minister who wanted this Constitution Amendment Bill to pass was so annoyed that he chose to address the nation, casting aspersions on members of Parliament who were honestly performing their duties, in this case, protecting the Constitution. Hence, these observations by the Prime Minister cast aspersions on the integrity and independence of elected members of Parliament. Question. So basically, he said that this is a privilege notice. It's a privilege notice which they have filed against the Prime Minister. Now, is this warranted? And Prime Minister could have easily avoided a situation like this, but he deliberately chose to. And now the opposition is forced to file a privilege notice against Prime Minister. How unprecedented is this? A privilege notice against the Prime Minister.
I don't think that it is unprecedented in the sense that it is very timely. It is unprecedented, of course, in the sense that it is very rare, as it is extremely rare, rarest of the rare, that a prime minister will not address the nation on a national issue, rather on a divisive issue. It is almost forbidden in our parliamentary practice. But since it is forbidden, this is also rare. So similarly, it is rarest of the rare that on the address of the Prime Minister, the opposition has to move a privilege motion. They have a right. Now, the details they have given, I will say one thing, that they have very intelligently used this occasion to tell them that look here, in the garb of the reservation of women in the legislature, you were trying to do the delimitation, that too against the Constitution of India. You're trying to amend the Constitution of India, doing arbitrary exercise the reference to the censor. So you were doing the arbitrary exercise. We never opposed. He has reminded, he has not forgotten to remind that 23, we had all unanimously passed it. So there is no question of opposition. The Prime Minister has misused its position, has lost the trust of the opposition which is trying. Now, another thing I will say, opposition is saying we are trying to defend the Constitution. BJP, NDA will say, no, you are trying to breach the Constitution. Both have a right, but the Prime Minister does not have a right. The issue is of the Prime Minister. It is not whether who was trying to breach the Constitution and who was not. The question is the Prime Minister cannot do it. Prime Minister should not do it. That is my concern. Had somebody else, some BJP had said it, some president of BJP, though he's a naive person, he would have said it. Uh, okay, there are so many their MPs, we know whatever they can speak, but not the Prime Minister. And minimum, not the Prime Minister as addressed to the nation. He should have not said it. This is the bad. There are certain things. Say I will say the propaganda for elections of the second phase of Bihar has not stopped. Even first phase has not stopped.
Yes.
Second phase is very much open for 1 week. Narendra Modi could have gone there, could have said, okay, we were trying to give you a reservation. They did not, because he was addressing election rallies. He had every right. But he has no right to address the nation as the Prime Minister of the country.
So
Ah,
you are saying
had
that
he
opposition
resigned? No, no,
is
I will use one word, then I will answer you. Had he resigned, that my constitutional amendment bill has fallen with 230 votes against me. I have no moral right to continue, though I have the majority. So I resign hereby as Prime Minister. And before resigning, I address the nation. Okay? He could have said everything. But had he resigned, okay, I am going, but this is the situation. So he has not done it. So that is bad. That is very bad. But I would say Venugopal has chosen, it is his political understanding. It is not to say that the opposition was building. It is the people who are to judge. Opposition,
do you think
they
do
are
you think
using the.
no, no, do you think Speaker Om Birla will take up this privilege?
No, not at all. Not at all. Even if he takes up. Needuji, we have smashed our institutions. Are we living in a democratic country? The parliament is not functioning. The chairman or the speaker, they are behaving like partisan people. They are not behaving as independent people. Now the judiciary is whatever we see in SIR, the judiciary keeping its mouth shut. The judiciary is being shown the concrete proofs they are not ready to listen. The election commission is already behaving like a BJP activist. So what are you thinking? CBI, ED, they're all working as handpicked persons of the dispensation. So what are we hoping? The bureaucracy is somebody during emergency, after emergency said, Indira Gandhi wanted them to bend, but they prostrated. उन्होंने तो डंडौत शुरू कर दी। इंदिरा गांधी ने तो उनको माथा टेकने को बोला था, उन्होंने डंडौत शुरू कर दी। यही
No,
बात
but
है
my question
अब।
now is that you're
हाँ,
saying that they're very highly unlikely that Speaker will at all take up the privilege. But it is an unprecedented step, privilege against coming
yes.
against the Prime Minister. But now I want
Both
to
are
juxtapose.
both are unprecedented. The address of the Prime Minister as well as the privilege motion.
Well as
Both
a
are
privilege.
unprecedented.
Now, Gyanesh Kumar's complete silence, I want to juxtapose it with this story where his son in law has been appointed as the DM of Agra. Uh, now, how does one make of this? I'm just trying to juxtapose. Now, why Gyanesh Kumar is silent? And there is a long story of how many people from his family, they are in administrative services and they've got lucrative postings. Does one juxtapose these two things? How will a common man read that all of a sudden Medha Rupam, who is Ganesh Kumar's daughter, is the DM of Noida. Her husband Manish Bansal gets appointed as the DM in Agra, and both the husband and the wife are now appointed at the periphery of Delhi, which is within 250 or 300 odd kilometers from Delhi. How does one read that? Is this the reason of Ganesh Kumar's silence? And this is how he's
No,
being kept in good
no,
humor.
no, no, Nidu, if we also start reducing it to, we will be reducing the partisan behavior of Ganesh Kumar only to few postings. No, no, I don't agree. These are only just some, you can say, some peanuts for the work he is doing. It is not we will be reducing his role as a BJP activist rather than an independent election commission of India. The three election commissions of India, chief election commissions of India, they are saying that all these things are wrong. So, Ganesh Kumar, I will not say election commission, Ganesh Kumar, in the capacity of election commission, he is doing all illegal things. He is doing nothing but illegal things. I am saying with the responsibility under the cover of a legality. He is breaching our constitutional provisions. He is breaching, he always quotes 326. 326 says that the election commission shall act as per the law framed by the legislature, either of the country or of a state. So where is his power? Then the Representative People's Act, 1950, the electors registration rules, 1960, he is breaching everything. The conduct of election rules, his own procedures by the election commission, he is breaching everything. And he is not bothered that the people are dying. Now, why I am connecting it? You are, if we see only their posting, I will read out about Veda. Veda Rupam is totally, I would say, unfit for the job. She came here in Nada, in Gautam Buddha district, in June 25, June or July 25. Within 9 months, what did she do? Will you believe? During SIR, let there be only one DM in the whole of the country, including her own husband, beside anybody else, who has charge sheeted all the three SDM, who has stopped the salary of all the three sub-divisional magistrates of three subdivisions. Only three subdivisions are there in Gautam Buddha Nagar. Who has stopped the salaries of all the 12 Tahsildars and Nab Tahsildars. There are only 12. Who has registered FIRs against hundreds of people. Who has issued show cause notices to 730 BLOs. Who has registered FIRs against 63 BLOs and 7 supervisors. 130 BLOs and 27 supervisors. Did you believe how many total polling booths are there? 1,868. Out of 1,868 polling booths, she is taking action against 1,000. What is she? Is she a killer or an administrator? She is totally incapable. Second, I will tell you. Let us see. Let us see her ADM-ship and DM-ship and all that. No, there has been an accident. A young person, engineer, has died. There was a ditch. She kept on putting, just as the Nero was playing his flute, the Rome was burning. The deputy commissioner, district collector, the DM is in charge of the disaster management. This was a disaster because he fell in a ditch. She did not bother to go for 4 days. And she kept on, she did not even put on her X or on her, you can say, Twitter.
Right.
What is the situation? And is she the DM? Has she the right? Then I will quote another. There was the agitation of the workers. She went along with the police commissioner. She is also lady. Police commissioner is also lady. She went there and she ordered lathi charge and all that. Is this the way? Is this the way to deal with the agitation? It means she can neither handle an agitation, she can neither handle a difficult task like SIR, she can nor handle a disaster like a person dying in a picture. Why is he? 9 months only. During 9 months, this has happened. This she is doing because पापा की परी है. पापा की परी ऐसी करती है. उसको कोई नहीं बोलेगा. I
Right.
was
So whatever blunders they make, they will be pardoned only because they are Ganesh Kumar's kids or they are Ganesh Kumar's son-in-law. Likewise, that's what you're saying.
I'm coming to only one line I'm saying. A few days back, I was talking to one intellectual that why our universities are dying. He used one word, sir, inbreeding. I couldn't take,
Hmm.
understand what I He said the daughters and sons, the wives, the friends, the father, they are posted. So they don't feel any challenge. Meda Rupam has not faced any challenge. And she is a simple graduate. Her husband is an IT and she is a graduate in economics. Maybe you can say the honors in economics from a very good institute.
Right.
But
So, yeah,
her
Dr.
degree
Garg,
is
I'm
less than the
running
degree of
out of time.
one line. A degree is less than the degree of prime minister, of course. That we must agree.
Yeah.
So,
My last question to you, Dr. Garg, is, and very briefly, if you could say, so this privilege brought against Prime Minister, or the privilege motion, as we might say, the notice or the privilege notice, which has been given by the chairman of the Public Accounts Committee, who happens to be KC Venugopal, is there any hope through that? Or it is just a parliamentary tool which is available with leaders like KC Venugopal? They have exercised it, but everyone is sure that no one is going to act against the Prime Minister.
Nilu, there are, I must say, there could have been the people who would have not issued even the notice. So, if a notice has been issued, an opportunity has been, that does not mean that they will get justice. We sometimes punish. I have never punished anybody during my service career. Never. Not even a show cause notice. Not to talk of punishing. But if somebody is being punished, if she exercises his legal right, okay, you give me the paper, you conduct an inquiry, that does not mean he will be saved. But he is trying to use the option available to him under the Constitution of India.
Right.
So the opposition is trying to use the parliamentary procedures and the constitutional provision available to them. So they must use. If
Right.
they think, no, no, yeah, they are not going to do anything, why should we do it? Why should they not do it? I don't find any reason not
Right.
for Mr.
All right.
Venugopal not to write this rather.
All right.
He had and he has used. But in addition, I will say, now to the Congress party. If they think that by the on the strength of 700 people writing against Ganesh Kumar on these breaches, they issuing a notice, putting up a notice before the speaker, uh, the privilege motion, it is not going to work. They have to come on streets now. Now there is a chance, a time that to defend our country, to defend our beloved India, to defend our beloved democracy, to defend our beloved freedom, we have to be ready. And ready, really, I say, ready to sacrifice our lives, even not to talk of our anything else,
Right.
including
All
our
right.
lives. We have to
Right.
come forward. They have to come forward. Otherwise, this country, the democracy is gone. I am saying with the
All right.
responsibility, I speak daily. Now, last
Right.
time I would say, because why I was talking about Meda Rupam, I have seen very good police officers. I will quote one example. There was a DM, and a Taran, he retired and all that. Her husband was a police officer. No, I said, okay, we will do this project on Saturday. I asked her, and she said, yes. I said, won't you go to your husband? He was posted in a different district. She said, when I am DM the district, oh, why should I bother where my husband is, where my children are, who is looking after them? I have
Right.
to work as
All
a
right.
DM. And she worked, she got a first prize in the country on that project. There, and she is a lady. I have
No,
seen two
even
lady DMs.
right. No, just before I wind up the show, even if it is part of a routine transfer where Manish Bansal, Ganesh Kumar's son-in-law, has been appointed as DM Agra, but a lot of questions now will be asked because Ganesh Kumar is completely silent on a brazen model code of conduct. We can't keep blaming Manish Bansal for whatever is happening on a national level. We can't keep blaming Medha Rupam also. Of course, questions will be asked. But the very fact that Ganesh Kumar has chosen to be silent, all these points will come up in the eyes of the people, and the nation
Agreed,
will want
agreed.
answers
You,
on
I
that.
will say only one thing. It is not a small thing. He was in charge of a district which had only 12 lakh population. Now he is
Yes,
in charge of a district which has 45 lakh, 44 lakh population.
right,
This is a big power. So it is
right,
not that he is getting gains. He is an IAS officer. Why can't he say, no, I'm not going to join as a DM of Agra. You post me anywhere because
Yeah.
people are fingers on me because of my father-in-law. He could have said it. And so many times I have seen IAS officers are doing it. That is not, that is why we call it is a street framework. I have
Right.
seen IAS officers saying no to the CM. So that is not the issue. Saying no to the very strong BJP ministers. It is not so. Congress ministers. So the only thing is they are a hand in glove. They are a family. They are
Right.
behaving like a family.
All right.
So
All right.
when Sanya थे कोतवाल डर काहे का? So their own mentor, their own father-in-law, their own father is showering, I will say, illegal favors on BJP, on the Prime Minister. Then why should he not get the game? This is a quid pro quo. Nothing else.
True.
So this is
All
a
right.
bad day, black day for the country. The whole thing is happening. But there is a silver lining that 700 people, all bureaucrats and all that have written. Former CECs have written, and today I was reading an article in Indian Express. Former CECs have raised questions, and people like you are raising questions. The opposition is moving a privilege motion, so we have not lost everything. We have lost a lot of these things,
All
but
right.
we have not lost everything. So there is a
Well,
silver
we'll have to wait and watch what happens on the privilege against the Prime Minister on that front, whether at all Speaker takes it up or not. Thank you so much, Dr. Garg, for joining on HW News. Thank you.